everyone. Welcome to Gamer's Ledge. I'm one of your hosts, Mark. Ohayou gozaimasu. Konnichiwa, konbanwa, irashaimase. Welcome to 4DMs, One Idea, a Western show inspired by Eastern thought. This is a show where we welcome writers, artists, creators, some might say philosophers in their own right, to analyze an idea, whether they're inspired to look inward, like the Buddhists to the East, or outward, like the philosophers of the West. I look to our guests to come up with a story, character, economy, artwork, song, or even world based on the same idea that everyone will have to work with. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the closest Western touchpoint I can give you is the work of David Hume, who in a nutshell said, think of a chair, and once you have the image of a chair in your head, the image you may have may be a simple brown wooden chair, but I may be thinking of a red lacquered chair with a high back, ornate feet, and a pad on the seat. Neither of these are wrong. They are just different instances of the idea of a chair. Myself and our guests will take an idea and in a short amount of time create something from that idea, and then we'll all compare notes live and see how different people came up with different ideas and take you through that journey of thought. And speaking of our guests today, we have we're joined by an illustrious panel of who's who in the tabletop role-playing game community. Our first guest is a Twitter friend in the TTRPG space, Night Slayer. Night Slayer, welcome to the show, and tell the folks what you have going on right now.
Hey, yeah, so... Wow, I'm sorry. I just blanked. Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, but just tell folks about you and what you'd like them to know that you're working on.
So, I am Night Slayer. I've been streaming for like 2.5, 3 years now. Currently, trying to work my way into the music scene, the rap scene. And have started recently working on my first album.
Right. And do you have a time frame for release?
I am hoping to release this within the next month and a half, maybe 2 months. As of right now, it's one song and a concept and a dream.
And should folks follow your Twitter for updates on that?
Yes, follow my Twitter. There will always be updates on my Twitter. Follow me. Sub on YouTube, my Twitch, whatever. I'll be talking about this for ever.
And is it twitch.tv/NightSlayer217?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. I'll give you a shout out in chat. NightSlayer217. Perfect. Awesome. Our second guest tonight is a Twitch streamer, contributor, and longtime friend of Gamer's Ledge. It's Mr. J Nice. Hello there.
Hello there. I've been playing basically tabletop games with Daniel, and for about the last, I'm going to say 9 years at least. We've been doing D&D and Star Wars and other TTRPGs to that likings. We've done several one-shots where I've ran or rotated through, and basically, I'd like to say I'm a long-time player, first-time hoster.
Well, that's not entirely true, because you've co-hosted a couple things with me. So,
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, it's rare, and I'm happy to have you here. And then last but not least, our final guest is one of our resident DMs, creative director and TTRPG Big Brain and contributor. It's Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Arigatou gozaimasu. I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. What you got that you're working on behind the scenes, my friend?
Well, I'm playing in 2 games right now online, which is the most games I've been a player in a long time. And that's the Monday Night Emancipation of Dragons, ran by you, Mark, and a Savage Worlds Deadlands game on Thursdays, run by Dragadan, at Dragadan. I think that's his Twitch, but that's John. Otherwise, I am prepping and painting 2 40k armies, 2.5 40k armies, and a whole bunch of other minis and stuff. Oh, and I got a TikTok.
And you got a TikTok?
That's about it for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, then. So before we get started, I do need to give credit where credit is due. I was inspired to create this show by Andrew Huang, an amazing music producer who had the idea to create 4 producers, 1 sample, which was the inspiration for this show. So if you enjoy music and creation, make sure to check Andrew Huang's YouTube out. Secondly, if you enjoy this kind of mental exercise for TTRPGs, I suggest you check out it's Redemption VA on Twitch, but it's VA Redemption everywhere else. It's Redemption VA's Writer's Block on Thursdays, where they're taking words from guests and actually building an entire world from those words as a collaborative writing process. So that's on Twitch Thursdays, Redemption VA. And let's see. We have also joined Streamers for Kids, which is a streamer group promoting Extra Life, which, if you're not aware, is a charity to buy sick kids in hospitals gaming equipment to make the things they're in for not quite as unbearable. If you'd like to donate and brighten some children's days, simply head to our Twitch page and scroll down and click on our program schedule logo. That will take you right to the donation page. We do want to thank all the new followers on Twitter. Also want to thank the new followers on Twitch. We are dangerously close. I believe, we're dangerously close to 800. We're in a friendly race with 3 other streamers to get to 1,000. We're in 3rd place currently, about 100 behind. But thank you to all the new Twitch followers and everybody joining us in chat. Please do chat in chat. I may not be able to talk directly to you depending on what part of the show we're in, but do know that we appreciate everybody coming in, and I do want to give quick shout-outs for the folks that I see in the chat. So hello there, Rick Stevens. Thank you for checking in. I will talk about that in 1 second. Exos Evil, welcome to the stream. Mafia, thank you for the 3-month sub re-up. You're a rock star. Hello there, Mr. J Nice as well. And Rick Stevens PI again. Yes, perfect. So, in that same vein, we're thinking up a new community challenge. We'll let you know what that is as soon as it's on board. We've also changed the channel point rewards. Oh, I think all the channel point rewards are wrong since I didn't have. I'll fix that here in a second. So do make sure that you do check in for 1 point. That way I can give everybody a shout out after the show on Twitter. Also, if you are hosting us, make sure to choose the new 1 point I'm hosting reward, since Twitch notifications about hosting are not seeming to work. Appreciate that as well if you consider hosting us. And with all of that out of the way, let me see if tonight's idea has been delivered by magic to me. I was not privy to this beforehand. Tonight's idea: Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So we'll put 15 minutes on the timer. And we all have 15 minutes to come up with something. There we go. And it is started. Yeah, it took a quick minutes. This is the first more than 2 words prompt, and all of the channel redemptions are now correct. And we already do have a redemption for a Tutorm, so if you've got something to drink, raise a glass and shout Tutorm as we drink.
Tutorm.
Tutorm.
Dorn.
Rusty, welcome to the stream. Hello there.
Hello there.
I'm working really, really hard on having one idea.
I'm working really, really hard on having one idea too.
Justin's picture is halfway over.
Yes, I'm aware Nightshade crashed. He's trying to reconnect.
Ah.
The computer is like my brain right now.
Mark was asking why the giant cat behind you.
Oh, my cat, Harley. Because she brings me motivation and haunts my enemies.
I like that. I like that answer.
Chocobo,
He's
welcome
trying-
to the stream. Hello there.
He's trying
Hello
to
Hello
intimidate us.
So Marie Antoinette let them eat cake. Normally I have a fully fleshed out idea by now.
I have 3, but I'm only going to tell you one.
I hate you so much.
I only had to partially do a quick history lesson to make sure I knew exactly what I was going
Yes,
off of.
That is exactly correct, Rick.
That's
Daniel's
fair.
struggle for one idea is much different than my struggle for one idea. I have an idea. I'm just trying to figure out how to tie it back. So that's what I'm working on right now.
So I have, of the ideas, I have one I really, really like, so that's the one that I'm delving into right now, but I'm going to share my other 2 with chat. After the fact. To see what Rick thinks, mostly.
I guess if all my stuff is, yeah. Thank you for checking in, Choco. Rick, it seems like you baked that pun for a while. We have just over 6 minutes left. Rusty, I got you. Happy to help, man. Happy to spread the love around.
All right, so 2 ideas down, working on my third.
Did you say working on your third?
Yes.
It's one idea, not 3, Daniel. Not 3, Justin.
Well, this is just in case one of you guys take close to my idea. And
Actually,
have to go back up.
I'm pretty happy with what I've come up with now. It took me a hot minute, but I got there.
I mean, have you guys done it before? But if everybody's close to their timing, do we want to start early, or
No,
do we still want to go through the whole thing?
no, especially since there's only 3 of us now. I just want to make sure that I'm actually done.
Oh, did he not make it back?
No, he's on a mountain apparently, and he's having Wi-Fi crashing issues.
Oh.
So I think it's.
Can I bring up and talk about my idea that I'm not going to use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have like 10 minutes each.
Yeah.
So as long as
15,
you
actually. So it's plenty.
Okay. I will say my idea that I'm not going to use is a board game.
Of course it is.
So just so you know, Rick, Justin is one of my local players as well. He's a huge supporter of Gamers Ledge and
Yes.
everything they do, but he's also one of my local players. So it doesn't surprise me that he'd be the one like me that would have a million ideas, and also that one of his ideas would be a board game or a card game, because
Ooh, a card game. I should do that for my third.
two of my ideas I'm not going to talk about are a board game and a card game.
Thank you, Panda. I hope you have a wonderful stream. And hello there.
Hello there.
I know it's, and as the host, I'm going to stick to the format, but obviously I have overachievers as friends. I'm just finishing up. I've got 45 seconds. I'm making some additional things here. All right. And with that, our 15 minutes comes to a close. I will be the initial guinea pig, since I'm the only one with one idea instead of three. So I will go first. All right. Marie Antoinette, Let Them Eat Cake. So I made the BBEG of a Supers game. A female antagonist named Anton Marionette. Her superpowers include physical manipulation of other people as if controlling a marionette. She got her powers by becoming fascinated in history class and thinking Marie Antoinette was a form of puppet master that made Britain jump and do what she wanted, which is kind of not wrong. And she used her drive and adoration to develop a neural string that, when applied to her, in her hair and connected somewhere on her scalp, allows her to control one person per string. And she has enough materials at any given time to have about 100 to 200 strings, which gives her hair a very layered look, almost like a powdered wig. Her calling card is a full decadent piece of 3-layer cake, which could potentially be an area for PCs to determine who she is, where she is, since lately, as she's ramped up crime, she's going through a lot of cake. And some bakery's got to be producing that. Her weaknesses are that she's a normal human, if you can get past her controlling you. But also, if you can sever the contact between scalp and strings, she loses any or all abilities. Possible other plot hooks would involve researching higher profile components used in making the solution for the neural strings. And does she have layer actions? No. No, she does not. It's hilarious, right? That's a lot less verbose than normal for me for 15 minutes, but that was what I came up with.
What would be your catchphrase?
Oh, her catchphrase is definitely "Let them eat cake." It's just that she prefers to be a little more subtle and just leaves the piece of uneaten cake. But if she's actually there, it'll be let them eat cake.
What does she look like, not counting the like white wig?
I would say actually a mousy librarian type for the most part, because she excelled at school, was not much of a social interaction person, and
you said her name is Antoine Marionette?
No, it's Anton Marionette instead of Marie Antoinette.
Okay. That's awesome. I don't think we've had supers yet as a genre.
No.
And I had one of my other ideas was a doll that had the name Marionette as well. I was going with Antonia Marionette, but it was similar to that, and it was fantasy like D&D, and solely for the purpose of freaking out your wife. That's it.
But yeah,
awesome.
I actually really like the idea of this because, I mean, mostly just human, but the only way you could get around her is if she doesn't know you're there, really. That's the only way I could see. And so maybe as she goes, if you're designing her to be the BBEG of a campaign, maybe the PCs do best her early on, but she escapes, makes more strings, and then maybe she starts to form an entourage of people that protect her that can see invisibility or things of that nature to try and protect her. So then it becomes, you've got to go through all my bad guys to get to me, of course, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. The players inherently are out against her, or could there also be an evil campaign where you're her minions or her cooks?
Oh, that's completely evil. I would think that this would probably work more interestingly if you're if she's the antagonist and the players are the protagonists. But what I like about this is the fact that all of her entourage would be there against their will. And so then the PCs have to navigate, well, do we hurt these people even though they're attacking us when they're actually being controlled to do so?
Yeah, I guess you'd have to find out, are all of them against her will, or some of them not against her will? So,
right. God, Rick, you're terrible.
She has sweet retorts. I like it.
But I kind of like the
that's
idea. I kind of like the idea that, you know, maybe there's a time limit, because once the strings dry out to a certain point, they stop working, and she has to go back and re-soak them for the next day.
So how are you picturing them? Because I was thinking of more of like string.
Right. No, I mean that's basically. But think about string in a bowl of water, right? They get wet and they retain their moisture for a long time, but once they dry out, then they kind of.
I would have thinking it was been more like a powder, like a powdered wig string.
Yeah, no,
in which case it absorbs powder, and if once it's done absorbing the powder, it turns clear. So she'll end up looking bald without it. So then you kind of have to powder the wig to keep the power going.
Well, I was kind of saying that when you layer like 100 to 200 strings on her head, then it kind of naturally like forms kind of the shape of a powdered wig, but not necessarily the look of a powdered wig.
Okay. Does it look like a cake?
Yeah, maybe, sort of.
So, what, speaking to the supers genre, there are a lot of eras and styles in there. So how would you, where would you see this in play? Do you think this is like a four color, or golden age, or less cartoony, more realistic, or super's pulp?
I would say probably less cartoony, more realistic, because you need to have her somewhat in the future for whatever compounds necessary that she'd be able to science to make the solution to. I mean, I guess you could do it in Golden Age if you really wanted to, but I think it would be more interesting since, to me, Golden Age is all about clear defined right and wrong, right? And the ambiguity of her controlled minions and the players going through them. Oh, do we have a Tutorm? Tutorm! Yeah. Thank you, Terror Engine.
I'm listening to what you mean. It, based on what you had said, she's more gray. Mm-hmm. You want your players to have a moral and ethical quandary when it comes to her. Yeah.
And Golden Age is the exact opposite of that. Golden Age is, we're right, we're good, we're going to murder the bad guys.
So two things. One, what about player level would you think players need to be to interact with her? And two, could you also see her in like Starfinder? Because I can picture her as a good space-based villain.
Yeah, 100%. I think... So, because she's a BBEG, I completely think that there should be a minimum of 3 run-ins with her. The first one should be very low level, where she completely, pun intended, dominates the players. Right? And they try and stop her, they lose, but no loss of life. She just leaves them with cake and their humility, their humbled attitudes. And then maybe once the PC team has a chance to chew on what has gone wrong here, then they try and stop her again, and maybe they figure out her one ploy or one weakness is she, somebody invisible or someone she can't hear, or somebody sneaking up on her.
I don't want to get too battered up, in the fight with her.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I would go the opposite. I would go with the heroes creating her. Like, she's an innocent bystander that something they do or a fight they have that's almost unrelated creates her. And then the next time she meets up with them, she thinks she's an archvillain. They have no idea who she is. And you have her building up her threads and her people and her army, her... rebellion in the background as the heroes are building their own powers and doing their own stuff, and slowly introduce the cakes being delivered and the small pieces like that.
Yeah.
Even possibly having some of the heroes secretly strung and they don't realize it.
You
Could
could even start it with her origin story is something where the party crashes into a party and literally destroys her birthday cake before she gets a chance to eat it. And while they're there, they also happen to destroy gifts. You know, they're breaking through. It's a fight, and so stuff's getting destroyed. And she has a doll, a marionette doll that ends up getting its strings cut. Is another option, and I also think would be a cool Easter egg spoiler. Is they think, you know, maybe we decapitate her. That would be her weakness. What if her species in Starfinder is actually a head and she has a marionette body? So people think she's a full body, but really decapitating her isn't removing her ability.
Well, plus then when they finally find that out, they could have told her, and they finally arrest her, they could have told her she should have quit while she was ahead.
Yeah, she was ahead the whole time.
So,
Whole time.
so yeah, I mean, I think you've got lots of different ways that you could spin the backstory. If you could, how you have her interact with or not interact with the PCs. I think there's a lot, and you know, even her powers. You know, is it something that where it dries out after 8 hours, or is it something that's constant once she makes the string? You know, there's a lot for any DM to play with there to tweak however they want. Yeah. And I kind of like the idea of, well, I mean, if in the Supers game they behead her, then yes, that would solve things as well, because in that instance, she's a normal human.
You found my only weakness,
My
my
only
inability
weakness.
to
Guillotined.
live without a head.
Death, my only weakness.
The PCs carry a guillotine around with them at all times. Oh my goodness.
Hold on. I'm sure I
Why-
brought it in
why
this
you-
bag. Hold on.
Why do you guys carry that around all the time? It only takes once.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Look
That's
them up
it.
in the lands, in the
That's it.
highlands.
That's it. I'm done with my cake related things.
Look, you could have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, I could.
Let's go to Justin.
Let's go to Justin.
Well, so two things. One, I have this lovely Gamers Led shirt, which you yourself can also get. It's one of our
Let me see if
really
I can
great
move you.
DMs here's
Oh,
homage.
And what does it say?
I believe it says, your senpai notices you. Roll initiative.
that is what it says. And that's
So, I've got-
bit.ly/gamersledge merch. Quick plug.
I have 3 ideas. I'll let you pick 1, 2, or 3 to go first. One of them is the full idea. The other 2 are half-baked.
Ha.
Jeez. I mean, pick which one you would want to. Like, if this was a competition, you were putting your best one up.
So if this is the competition, I'll do the most finished one. So what I have is a one-off campaign with a story called the campaign being "Let Them Eat Cake." So the party will be they're part of a French orphanage. They're all around young adults' age. Marie Antoinette, as she's been getting criticism for her own children, has decided to adopt some kids. So she adopts the party and brings them into the castle and bringing them into the fold. Bringing her eggs from the hen. Now the
Okay.
party is in charge of a resistance that Marie Antoinette has created. They're part of a anti-carb resistance called Carrot. Civilians against radical recipes of tomorrow. To ensure that we are on a crusade against gluttony. So the party must find all traces of unwanted items coming in from a party. So you're there to search guests without ruining the party mood, to stop and replace all pastry baked items with vegetable replacements. Their ultimate goal is to replace the final dinner's dessert with a vegan-friendly cake without being noticed. So you have to deal with the anti-groups who obviously want gluttony and as many carbs as you can. And when you finally got that done, and you've replaced the cake, and the deed's done, you'll report to the queen and tell her the code phrase, omelette du fromage, to let her know that she can let them eat cake.
Okay. What system do you see this running?
I could see this, I mean, in Pathfinder and D&D, because this is what I know most. I think, honestly, the best bet of it would probably be even a whole group of rogues, maybe even a bard in there to help distract. So it wouldn't be a healer-based one. It would be more of a scenario-based. So if you do a system that can be based on that, would probably have the best advantage.
Okay.
So is the win, if you will, cumulative based on the number of dishes that they're able to replace without the guests becoming aware, or is it all really doesn't matter until the cake?
So they find out that originally they think they're going to be part of this huge resistance for the city, for this whole town, until they find out that she only just wants them to replace a party meal. So the big lead up is them meeting all these people, getting special skills for pickpocketing, stealing things. They're going to be part of this huge resistance throughout the town. And then the last half of the campaign would be them finding out that, we're just going to be switching out people's snacks and all this along the way. So as the carriages are coming in, part of the party will be there, checking out the carriage and slyly replacing stuff as they go. But again, if any items come in there, I mean, your carrots are bad. You're not gonna be able to save healthy figures.
I can't help but want to put my own twist on this, to where you propose it exactly as you just did, as this hilarious, one shot or campaign. But then the real twist is at the end that it was all poison to poison all the visiting heads of states, and you're now labeled as assassins, and you have to escape the capital. And Marie Antoinette,
that could be the first two campaign sessions. First one is starting resistance.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would totally. I always go dark.
I can see that.
If you always go dark. It's 100% true, Rick. It's 100% true.
If you know the group is never going to play again, you can leave it at 1. But I mean, you can even do that as your final ending. There is saying, by the way, you thought it was all a joke after you realized that you had the training, and it was dead serious. Dead serious.
Yeah. And omelette du fromage, as they deliver the code word, she acts as if she doesn't know you and shouts, "Your French spies." I mean, that's totally where I would go. Yeah, 100%. I love the idea of that, actually.
My second idea would be a board game of Let Them Eat Cake. So the players all start with a cart at the beginning, kind of like in life. You played life where you have the car and you can add people to your family.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you all start, you have a spinner to move, and you have to move along the tiles and get to the end. You're going to visit varying stops on the way to the castle. You'll need to get all the ingredients for a cake. You can buy or steal the other party's items, but if you roll lower, they can take an item from you. So you have to be careful who you're going to roll against and who's on a hot streak. You'll all start with one random ingredient, which can't be found anywhere else except for on one of the players. So only one player at the end is going to actually be able to succeed and bring Marie Antoinette her cake. But you can draw extra items. You could draw and have replacement items that could be taken. So if you roll, as long as you don't critically fail a roll, you can kind of just give up an item. So as long as you get duplicates of something, then you could do that. And you can even get spoiled items to give to somebody. So even if they succeed, but they have a spoiled item, they don't win. And the final game would be a card game called Cake Off, Revenge of Patty Cake. You're going to draw food items to build a cake card. Once you have 5 cake ingredients, or one of 5, or you have 5 items that you can sell to be a themed cake. You can then get a cake card. You're going to need 5 cake cards to have a cake. That's where you have the patty cake. All items are based off of the French Revolutionary time. So you may have like French Resistance posters, which maybe you can put to make as a sheet design for a sheet cake. You may have random Molotov cocktails to make a spicy cake. There may just be some items that are just nothing and you can't win against. So it would be a almost war style game, but you have to then build a cake. So that's my kind of least baked idea.
Questions?
I like them. I need to see how the first one was played. It sounds similar to some of the other card games that I've seen, especially like small deck builders and small hand builders, where you're trying to build a hand of ingredients, and you're being passed some ingredients that may or may not be good for you. I've seen some things kind of like that, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I can see that where everybody has their cards in their hands, and you have to basically take one, pass one to the left, and somebody gets a rotten egg or whatever, or you're trying to see what you can keep, so that way people would give you what you need to make it. So you only ever have 5 cards, and
see, I'm thinking the board game. You'd almost need like a value per ingredient, so that in case no one is able to complete the cake, there'd be a rule that people could still win.
Yeah.
But that sounds very interesting to me, especially the idea of it's a PvP cake building game.
Yeah, I figured so as you go, there's certain spots that you can pick up that are just pure denomination, so you'll get money.
Uh-huh.
So that way you can, and then you'll have vendor spots. So what'll end up happening at a vendor location is you'll flip over 3 cards, and you have an option to buy any or all or none. So if you have a missing item, you can buy it to help build part of your deck. There's not really a card limit, but with the currency being balanced in a way that you're not going to be able to just buy the entire deck.
Right.
And then again, stealing, you're only going to get 1 from that person. They can only lose the 1 in that group's rotation, so they're not going to go completely empty.
Cool.
But at some point, you will need to take something or take the golden card from the other players.
Right. Excellent. Any other questions, Daniel?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to you.
Okay, so you guys went a bit deeper into the themes than I did. I went cyberpunk, specifically Cyberpunk Red or Cyberpunk 2020 of that within that universe or that style. It could easily be transferred over to Shadowrun because everybody knows that's my favorite of the Cyberpunk series and style. But the group of runners is hired as a movement team, essentially a delivery team, and they're going to deliver a brand new hot single from an artist named Maria Antoinette, and she is a pop star, and the single is from her new album called Let Them Eat Cake, and it just like most runs, looks like a MILF run. Pick up the data, carry it to the location that's going to print all of the new chips, and you're good to go. Except that that's not how this goes. Maria Antoinette has been held on contract by by a specific corporation, for a long time, and her contract is just now coming up done. This new album is like her rebellion, her breakaway from the old contract, and as soon as it is released to the worldwide servers, her last contract is done. So she'll be able to move on with by herself or with a new contract, new company, whatever. And so there are multiple other groups that have been hired to both stop the delivery, replace this data with blank data or with other music, because if it doesn't get delivered, then her contract reverts back and she continues to have to be a wage slave for the last corporation. And so it ends up being this fight against for her rebellion against the corporations and the man. And as the group is trying to keep the data safe, they'll end up crossing paths with the pop star and be kind of protected by her in her house, and that will be the last line of defense, so that hopefully if there is a decker in the group, they can upload it to a viral server that gets it up onto the net, and they make it good. So I was going with a more let them eat cake, not family show pop song. And you guys went like deep into the Marie Antoinette beheading and cake making.
You said that if there is a decker, now does the party know ahead of time that might be advantageous for the campaign? And
no,
is this a one-off?
So that's the thing when you're building games like most of the Cyberpunk games or Shadowrun games. It's a good idea to have multiple venues and multiple art types, but you don't necessarily always have it. So really what it could come down to is you're bringing it to wherever the safe house is, and that safe house already has a decker or already has this thing set up to shove it to the world, to push it to the world. And so it'd be great if your party had one, so that everything that's done is within the party. But it's often, as GMs, that we have to kind of think on our feet and adapt to the situation. But that's what I pictured for this. I also had a card game and a board game, and ironically, they were fairly similar to what you guys have already expressed. So nice. But yeah, that was my Cyberpunk.
So
I had a vampire horror idea too, but it was not family friendly.
Oh, well, sure. My only question about this is if Maria knows that this is her only way out, it would seem to me like she would have a copy in case the masters got stolen or intercepted or something. So how would you? I mean, I would want to work something in, but what do you think about that?
So you could easily do that. Part of what I was going with was that she recorded it at the corporate studio, and it could be that they're hired by Maria to take the copy and release it worldwide, so that the corporation doesn't get any money from the sale.
Got it.
As part of a rebellion. To be honest, I hadn't even considered that, Mark. It's a very valid point, and definitely feels way more cyberpunk.
Yeah, because then I mean that's always fun to have the party find out that here they thought they've been protecting the only copy, and maybe they fail and it does get intercepted, and then they find out there's another copy that they can actually redeem themselves by.
Or she's using the players as a distraction the whole time.
Right.
And
exactly.
on the entire thing at the end of it is just an actual never going to give you up by Rick Astley. So when they end up inevitably get stolen, no matter what, they're going to take it back, play it, and that's what ends up being on there.
Nice. Preserved in a jar head, Rick Astley still doing his dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never going to give you up.
Never let you down.
Do you think this is a one shot? Do you think it's an entire campaign?
So most of the cyberpunk stuff that I come up with, they're done in missions, and so I'm thinking maybe 2 sessions, maybe 3, depending on where the players end up, but not a one shot. Anybody that has watched or is planning on watching the 8-hour one shot that we did with the newbies for the saving of Torm, that was a one shot that was planned for a bit shorter, and it stretched a little bit. So I try not to do one shots. They can be a little difficult to keep in timeline. So yeah, I would
definitely a good
consider
place
it.
to stop at.
Yeah, I would consider it 2 or 3 sessions probably.
Gotcha.
And with Shadowrun, you can add in a bunch of the extra gangers and stuff like that, and you have a bunch of connections. I mean, in both games, you have a bunch of connections that you can lean back on and add in for flavor and that stuff too. So,
What are you thinking for, like, player level for something like this?
base. I mean, you could easily have them be street level, and just kind of the common new guys. Yeah. Nice.
No, that one's horrible. If I'm saying it's horrible, it's horrible. That's horrible. I love it, but it's horrible. I mean, I kind of really like the idea of maybe she hires the party to take the copy and leak it, so that the corporation doesn't.
I actually like that a lot better.
And that way, spoilers if anyone's not seen yesterday. Sorry, it's a 4 year old movie at this point. I mean, that's basically what the players would be trying to do, is steal the data and then upload it to the net, the Cortex, the Verse, whatever, depending what system.
You can't stop the signal.
Can't stop the signal. But yeah, I think that's really interesting as well. Any other questions that you have, Justin, for Daniel?
No, I like it. I think it's a good base one that can go into a couple later and get them into the campaign and get them used to the setting. Because I feel like you're gonna have to do a lot of almost everything just to get to completing the goal. So it'd be good. I'm interested to see what your board and card games are.
Yeah, yeah.
They were similar. The card game I was talking about was more like what I was talking. I had misunderstood what you were referring to when you were talking about gathering all of the ingredients. I was picturing that as a cardboard game hybrid, where the ingredients you're getting are all cards, and then you have to have a certain number of cards to make that cake. And there are things on the board that are taking random ingredients, or that you have to pay ingredients. So by the end of the game, you have a certain number of ingredients, and hopefully it's more than anyone else to make whatever cake. One of the ideas I had was kind of like Ticket to Ride, where you have cards that have specific cakes, and you have to have certain ingredients to make those cakes. And so you're collecting ingredients to try to make one of the 3 cakes you have sitting in front of you. But if the other players know which types of cakes you're trying to make, they may stall you out. They may throw a rotten egg in the mix or take the flour you need. I don't know.
See, I was actually thinking, because I've been playing a lot of board games recently, where you've got the sheet of tokens that you punch out, where you have like gold flour tokens, and there's only 3 in the game, so everybody's rushing to get one of those. Or, something along those lines. It's where basically the layout will help determine the flow of the game, where everybody knows they're going to end up, getting all the materials, and then there's going to be some kind of battle to get to the castle.
Yeah, you could have a Cake Off versus Marie Antoinette.
And the special guest judge is Gordon Ramsay.
Would it be a head-to-head?
Oh, I think that it would have to be, like, between 2 and 5 players. Or what do you think, Justin?
I mean, I don't want to go lose my head on this one, but I want to stay with Dan.
I meant head to head.
I know what you meant. I was playing the straight man.
Aha. That's not an easy thing for you to do.
No, because I like cracking jokes, but sometimes. Well, once again, this show has done what I had hoped it would do. What was your favorite idea, and what did you come up with? Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube. As always, thank you to my guests. Let's give Daniel, since you're already big on the screen, what do you want to give a shout out for?
That's a very good question. Emancipation of Dragons, we just started after a pretty long break. We kind of jumped back into it. I think we have 4 episodes now after the break. But we do have a catch-up show, so you don't have to watch all of the older episodes to get caught up. So if you would like to watch a kind of funny role-playing game that right now is taking place almost entirely in Waterdeep, it's there on Mondays. And you can get caught up pretty easily with the available catch-up show.
Justin, how about you?
Biggest thing is looking up at the Gamers Ledge website, where there's a bunch of gamers and tech fans from throughout the industry, all dedicated to making sure that you spend your hard-earned money in a way that is most beneficial to you. So check out their website. They've got wonderful outerwears to wear, and beyond that, there's almost something every day of the week, and you can enjoy watching Mark lose his cool trying to not get shot or killed when playing Tarkov. He also has a wonderful new system with loot cards that he might be able to expand upon.
Yes, we'll be talking more about that tonight on our Friday night show for sure. We have joined something called Stream Loots, which is a lot of fun, and I do have codes for free chests. It basically gives you cards to interact with the stream. We wanted to find a way to expand what's available under the Twitch point redemptions, because you can only have so many there under channel points. So channel points are not going away. This is a completely optional thing, but it's streamloots.com/gamersledge. And let me know if you do sign up, and I've got a code for free packs for people to give it a go and take a look. So let me know about that. But that's going to do it for us for today. As always, we're going to raid out, share love around with someone else. Let me see who is on that we might be. Oh, Cosmic Vixen. We're definitely going there. She's still playing Project John Boyd. She is a 18-plus streamer, but she's very funny, very nice. So I know everybody will love her. So let's show her some love as well. If you would, copy and paste the ledge raid. I'm going to paste. I need to make a raid command eventually. But we're going to do that, and we'll raid out and show her some love. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Until next time, be excellent to each other, and game on.
Game on.